Money is just a word, right? It's not about the money, it's about what it allows us to do. Because through money, we could do a lot for others, we could do a lot for ourselves. You also wanted time freedom. I don't know, I got sold on the idea that I was gonna be my own boss, have a flexible schedule. That's why we became realtors, a lot of us. Listen to a podcast and you're like, yes, they have all this free time, they run their own business. And then you are in the real world, you're a realtor and you find yourself working Monday through Sunday, not having days off. That's not the way that I wanted to live my life. Once again, I found myself in a transition period of my life and my career. There's been people in my life that have really allowed me to grow and that have impacted me and shifted the way that I see life and I see business. Aaron has been one of them. That's why I'm here with him. Anything that he needs me to do, I come reluctantly, but I come. And then my business partner was also a big influence in my life. He's the one that took me on the path back to real estate investing that I should have stayed on, right? But I got distracted. There was all these other shiny objects. And then I attended a mastermind, a real estate investing mastermind, a 2-day event. Just like you guys, I was sitting in one of these chairs. Some of you are probably feeling the way that I was feeling in that example. I had heard the message about real estate investing so many times before, but I wasn't ready to listen. So many limiting beliefs. I can't do it. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I've been hearing a lot. I just want to focus on listings right now. I can't do this because listings. In that day, in that moment, in that event, I was so fed up with all those beliefs and all those thoughts that were keeping me stuck. So I actually opened up my mind and I told myself, look at what these people are doing. They were talking about creative finance deals subject to seller finance, wholesale deals, fix and flips. They were building a portfolio. They were traveling, they were doing all these cool things and making a lot of money. They were doing real estate a way that I didn't even know was possible. So instead of telling myself, no, I told myself, how? How can I do this? How can I make it part of my reality? If they're doing it, that means I can do it too, right? So once I had that shift in my mindset, there's a reason why a lot of you guys are not doing these strategies is because of yourself, your own beliefs. So fast forward 2025, after that mastermind, I opened up my mind to the possibilities. I got with my business partner. We put some money behind real estate investing and we committed. And here we are, fast forward 2025. So I actually run a real estate investment business that I am passionate about. I'm a real estate investor and a real estate agent. Currently, we own properties that are generating passive income through Airbnb and long-term rentals. We're building a portfolio through creative finance. We're doing fix and flips, novations. We've done 6-figure deals consistently. And I've built a business around the life that I want to live. So my business doesn't run me. I create it so it aligns with my life. I am 100% satisfied with everything that I do now. So I'm happy that I made the switch and I'm never going back. So I want to talk to you guys about all these different strategies. But first, I want to hit you guys with some hard-hitting facts. 62% of real estate agents with less than 2 years of experience made under $10,000 in 2024.
That's 6 out of 10, bro. Independent of what you post on Instagram.
Median agent income sits at $56,000. That's including South Florida, guys.
Hey, do you know a manager at Taco Bell makes 70?
That $56,000, for some people, they're like, okay, that's cool. I'm okay with just $56,000. I hope that's not any of you here, but that's before taxes, before business expenses, before brokerage splits. After everything, most agents are taking home closer to $35,000, which is below the poverty line for a lot of people. So what's the problem, right? Let's talk about the problem and then we'll talk about solutions. So the traditional real estate model has created a massive income gap. While most agents are fighting over the same commission splits on cookie cutter transactions, sophisticated professionals, which hopefully all of you will become, are building wealth using strategies most agents have never heard of. Sub-2, novations, lease options, seller finance. We're going to talk about the solution and how to fix it. So the solution, right? Transform from a transaction-dependent agent into a real estate investment specialist who creates multiple income streams from every opportunity. Like one of our community members, Eddie. I always put him on my slides. So he actually made $98,000 from a single novation deal. And we have a lot of these success stories. We have agents that their first wholesale deal made $73,000, $40,000. We're playing with bigger numbers in the investment space. So I want to equip you guys with the tools So you can do more deals, but also bigger deals. Really exciting.
Yeah, and Eddie does both.
Yeah.
So I think in your mind, I don't want you guys to think like it's one or the other. Like he's an agent. He does traditional residential resale transactions. When these opportunities present themselves, though, he has the product knowledge and the proximity to Idalis to be able to put them together. Does that make sense?
So the reality is you can do both, guys. You can offer both. And I come from a space where it was all agents who didn't want to work with investors. And then I transitioned to working with investors that didn't want to work with agents, and it never made sense to me.
Yeah, and the thing I think is so important, because I hear from you guys all the time, like if you go back to your offices and talk about this stuff, they'll be like, that's a scam. They're literally dissuading you away from product knowledge that will allow you, because what the product knowledge allows you to do is to convert. So in other words, we've talked about this before. When I was on Pace Morby's wholesale hotline, he asked me, he's like, hey, why don't agents interact with investors, and how come investors don't go to agent events? I'm like, well, two reasons. One, you guys talk a lot of smack. I didn't hop on this call and I was like, oh, you guys are the ones that flood my emails with lowball offers. I'm like, I didn't do that. But the moment they see me, they're like, oh, you're a real estate agent? So that's number one. Number two, we have the same avatar. It's a motivated, qualified seller. Yes? So what I told them is, look, your community can learn from our community how to sell. Because don't get it twisted. The way she's able to put these deals together, she is a rock star salesperson. She spent 2 years working with me individually, learning how to sell, how to pre-qualify, how to set appointments, how to handle objections, how to present. Like, that's the core of what she does. She stacked product knowledge on top. Now you can convert more of the leads, because you know what you'll do? If somebody needs one of these solutions, you'll be like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And then they'll go to Idalis and make $98,000 while you're showing your picture of you in an open house. Yeah. Or your stupid key with your closing. Wait, for everybody at home. Don't do that.
So that's funny, because when I started coaching with Aaron, I used to take pictures at the showings, and that he looked up right and he's like, nope, never do that again. And I believe this could be any of you too, right? I share with you guys this information because any of you could do it. Eddie did it. A lot of people that are working with us right now in our community are doing it. And what it takes is strategy and the skill and the product knowledge. Once you have that.
A great example of that would be the deal you just did with Mark Ramey.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was listed with 2 agents, guys, who only had one solution, didn't sell. He, because he's in the environment and he's been hearing this, he came to the Do More Deal Summit where Pace Morby was there, and we're talking about this. He started to get some PPL, those paper leads, people that raise their hand. What I need you guys to understand is when you guys don't sell their homes, they're talking to them. While you're still listed with them, do you know what they're doing? Hey, this isn't working. We need a cash offer. And they go online and they talk to somebody else because we don't have the product knowledge. He stepped in, they put a deal together. The seller's super happy. They got the money. And Mark made like $40,000.
Well, we haven't closed it yet. But
right, but
that's what we're going to do.
Like 40?
Yeah.
Hey, is that better than like a punch in the face? Yes, that's amazing. Yeah. Why? Because he had proximity and product knowledge.
I love Mark. He was mind blowing because a lot of what I do is I do on the phones, just because I'm so good on the phones right now, tonality, handling objections. So it was a 1-call close. We did it from beginning to end. We got the contract signed in one conversation. I got the guy down to like 20,000. He wanted a higher number. So Mark was blown away. He was like, what? You could do this?
And Idalis let him sit on the call for the whole thing so he could learn.
And Mark is he's a really experienced agent. He's been doing this for a really long time. And now he's opened himself up to all these new ideas and new ways of doing business. So even someone that's had a lot of success isn't closed-minded to that idea. And now he's tapped into this new world of real estate that he didn't even know existed. He's great. Love you, Mark. My listing, guys. I know I was in your position. I felt the pain of driving, showing, watching deals fall through and commission checks disappear. And I remember thinking there had to be a better way. And I was right. Real estate investing. Welcome to real estate investing. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be breaking down for you guys different creative ways to do deals, but I'm going to make it fun. These are things that we're implementing in our business, transactions that we've actually closed and been a part of. We're actually going to play a game. It's called How Much Money Are You Leaving on the Table?
Oh, it's going to be such a good game. You're going to want to throw up on the floor.
Nobody cry. It's all in good fun. I do want you guys to reflect on how not knowing the right solution is actually keeping you guys from making money and from hitting your goals. So I'm going to give you a scenario, and then I want you guys to write down what the solution is. If you know it, write it down. If you don't know it, but don't know, and then write down, after I give you the solution, how much money was made in that transaction. And then I want you guys to add up how much money you left on the table because you didn't know. How much money are you leaving on the table? Maybe we'll make this into
like a game show.
Like a game show. Ding, 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 ding. So the problem. So I'll read the problem to you guys and I'll give you some time to kind of think through it. The seller needed to sell fast. He had a job in another state. He was flying every single week to be at this job. He was spending money on planes. The quality of life was suffering. He needed to sell the property, but there were repairs that needed to be done. There were plumbing issues. He didn't have the money or the time to fix it, and he just wanted out. He did not want to list it with an agent, so I'm making it easier for you guys here. Didn't want to fix up the home and didn't have the time to wait. What is the best solution for this type of seller? Cash offer. Did anybody write down cash offer? Yeah. Awesome. It's going to get harder as...
Yeah, we're starting off easy.
It gets harder.
I'm curious, did you write down, try to convince them to list it?
No, because...
Yes, hey, all of you guys should be like, that's exactly what I would do.
And what happens is a lot of times we'll have conversations with the sellers, and when you try to convince them to list, they don't want to list. And the more you try to convince them, the less they want to do it. And now you've lost rapport and you're pushing the seller away. So instead of convincing, I've learned this from Aaron. Anytime you're convincing someone, you're done. You've already lost. This actually came from a Facebook ad. We got the lead under contract for $171. We wholesaled it. Our sales price was $280. And then our gross earnings on this was $108,000.
How much off one deal?
$108,000.
Okay, your guys' response should be entirely different than what you're doing right now.
This was a deal we did virtually. I never saw the house in person. I never met with the seller.
Wait a minute, time out. Never saw the house, never met in person, but made $108,000. But Edwin, I keep being told to sit in open houses.
So let's go to the next scenario. So what is wholesaling? Because I want to leave you with some education as well. So wholesaling, essentially 3 steps, is finding a distressed property or a motivated seller, negotiating with them, getting that property under contract, marketing the property to investors. So first step is finding that motivated distressed seller, which you guys are already doing because you're calling probates. Hopefully you're all calling probates, divorce leads, pre-foreclosures. You're calling for listings, might as well call and offer another solution. When you're having these conversations, if they want a cash offer, get it at a price where it makes sense for an investor, get the property under contract and find a cash buyer, the investor, and assign the contract to them. You don't close on the property. You just get the contract, find the investor, and assign it. Opportunities that you guys are talking to already, all the sellers that you're having conversations with, a lot of them want cash offers. You're just not offering it. So here's another problem. The seller had inherited the property from his father. He works full time, doesn't have the money to deal with the property. He knew exactly how much his home was worth and how much money he needed to put into it, but he didn't want to deal with it himself. The property needed to be cleaned out. Some minor renovations needed to be done. He didn't want to deal with any of this. He just wants out. Cash offer. Did anybody put cash offer? Mm-hmm. So this is a cash offer, but it's a different strategy. So instead of wholesaling, which was the first option, we did a fix and flip. So this one, just so everybody's clear, you actually take possession of the property. The other one, we're just flipping paper. Now, if you are going to do this, I think the other caveat is you need a team of people to help you to do it, because you want to, the issue here is speed. You want to get it renovated really fast and put it back on the market. Yeah, which the first option, wholesaling versus fix and flip, it depends on the resources that you have, the time, the experience. With that first property, we don't live in Tampa, so we didn't want to take on a project. We could have actually made 150 to 200 if we fix and flipped it, but 100,000 is just as good for not doing absolutely anything to the property. So in this case, this was a local property here in Broward. We actually got this from a text message. Now we don't text anymore, but back then we were doing text message marketing. We got it under contract for $208. We fixed it up, put it on the market for $335, and we made $127,000 on this deal. So this is what it looked like after. So fix and flip. So explain to you guys what fix and flip is. You buy a property under market value. You actually close on it, either through your own capital or through using private money or hard money loans. You fix up the property, you put it on the market, and then you find an end buyer and you sell them the property. So you make the difference between what you bought it for, the cost, holding costs, renovation costs, and then there's your profit margin after you sell it. I'll give you guys another scenario. The seller was relocating the moment the husband had passed away. She didn't want to be alone in Florida. The house was not renovated, but it was in decent shape. The roof was 1 year old, AC was newer. The husband was the one that handled everything in the house. This was someone that was elderly. She didn't want to deal with absolutely anything. And she had talked to cash buyers before, and the cash buyers were offering a lot lower than what she needed out of the deal. Most investors were coming in lower. She had a specific number she needed to make.
So she didn't like the lowball offers and she wanted a higher offer.
Some of you may know what this is, but some of you may not. It's a novation. And I go over what a novation is for you guys. We actually got this lead from a Facebook lead. We got it under contract for $250. We listed it on the market. We sold it for $290 to a finance buyer using a conventional loan. And we made $40,000.
And I think it's important for everybody to understand what like technically a novation is. It's basically where I'm going to flip your property, but I'm not going to take possession of it.
So this is what the property looked like. So from an investment standpoint, the property, if I was to go and buy this property, I would want to fix and flip it completely and put it on the market. In order for me to do that, it needs to be at a low enough number for it to make sense for me as a fix and flipper or my buyer if I'm wholesaling it. So the numbers here didn't work for that, but novation is perfect. If you see the house,
it's in good shape.
It's in good shape, right? The roof was fine, the AC. So there's nothing structurally wrong with the house.
So in other words, those other guys who were they were trying to buy it at 200 or let's say, or 180.
180.
Yeah, the cash offers, they're like, dude, we're not going to do that because they need a bigger margin in order for it to make sense. So then another solution is okay, well, because it's in such good shape, I'll give you more, maybe $50,000 more than what they were offering. And you're like, oh, this is fantastic, right? There's still spread there. And the novation agreement, I'm basically telling you, I'm going to flip your home. I'm just not going to take possession of it.
And the seller loved it. She was happy. So what's a novation? So novation is a partnership with the seller. All that novation means is we're replacing one agreement with another. So we're negotiating with the seller. We're agreeing to a number. We're signing an agreement with the seller along with the novation paperwork. And then we're actually going to go ahead and list that property on the market. The seller is the owner throughout the whole period.
Yeah.
We never buy it, never exchange title. We agree with the seller. You're going to get your number and we're going to handle everything else. So if there's any minor repairs that need to get done, we'll handle that. We'll pay commissions. We'll pay closing costs. So for someone like her that didn't want to deal with anything, didn't have the time, the energy, the resources, and just wanted a hands-off experience, and all she was focused on was this specific number, this was the perfect solution for her. And this novation, this concept took me a while to understand too, because I came from the agent perspective and I always wanted to list it. And I never understood why a seller would let someone else list their home on the market. There's a whole strategy behind it. We're pricing these properties very, very aggressively. So we know it's going to sell.
Yeah.
If not, we're not locking it up because we're spending time, energy, resources. So is the seller. So this I think it was $290 was our asking price. This $290 that we sold it at, we were under everybody else. So we undercut the market.
So are you JVing on the net?
No, we made $40,000. The seller made $250. Mm-hmm.
And there was no contract, no listing. It was
there's a special agreement.
Private contract between you and the seller.
Yeah, it always starts with an agreement with the seller first. And then we list it on the market. And there's a second agreement. This is where the term novation comes in. We're replacing that initial agreement with the second agreement, which is the end buyer agreement. Mm-hmm.
It ends up it supersedes. It
supersedes. One replaces the other.
But if you're doing the novation yourself, you're going to have another agent listed, right?
Yeah, not under my name because my name is on the corporation. So usually what I'll do is we'll either use another agent or a flat fee company just to make it so we're under the guidelines and it's not you're trying to put your hands into the bucket. Yeah, I wouldn't list this myself. I would have a partner list these. Yeah. And just to tell you guys on this specific transaction, we did help the seller and we provided value. So it's not just that we're listing the property on the market and that's it. We helped her. We did a clean out of the property because she moved to another state. So we actually paid money to have the property cleaned out. There were repairs that needed to be done during the inspections and the appraisals, which she didn't have the money to do. She actually moved out and let us handle everything. We cleaned out the property. We did inspection and appraisal repairs. And she was super happy.
So would you say that one of the main, because I know for agents, it's really it's not only product knowledge, but it's mental barriers. So would you say one of the main mental barriers is where we think that everybody optimizes for money, period, end of story.
Yeah.
When in fact, how many of you guys have done something and you didn't care how much it cost? Just to solve a problem. Yeah? Ever have your AC go out on a weekend and they charge you an extra fee? Do you care? No, fix it right now. Yeah? This is no different. Like they just want a problem and they want it solved. And what you're doing as an agent is I'm only going in with one option. And then they're like, you really can't help me. And then they find somebody who can.
The biggest limiting belief that I had to overcome in this space is that people want more money or are more focused on money because I came from an agent background of we're going to list it and get you the most money on the market. And I realized that a lot of these sellers, they don't care about more money. They just care about having that problem solved. And if you can solve that problem in a way that's stress-free and easy for them, a lot of times that's better for them than making more money if it's a more complicated and longer route. Okay, here's another problem. So the seller was in a financial problem with her daughter. The daughter was sick. They had put themselves in financial issues because of all the medical bills that they were having to pay. They were behind on their payments 3 months. They had gone under contract with an investor on a cash offer, and the investor did not close. They didn't have enough equity to list the property on the market. They would actually have to bring money to closing, and they didn't have any money.
Oh, this is good. Because I know you guys, you know what you would do instead? You'd be like, well, we can list it a little higher, so maybe I can squeeze in my commission. And then it won't sell. So what's the solution?
Somebody cheated and gave the answer, but yeah, subject to. So we actually, on a deal where there was no equity, we actually made $11,000.
How did you do that, Idalis?
I don't know, magic. Yeah, so subject to, guys, did I put a slide on what subject to is? No, I actually missed this one, but I'll tell you guys what subject to is. So all that subject to means is we're buying the property subject to the existing mortgage, meaning we're keeping the mortgage in place and title is going to be transferred. With novations, you could have the seller actually sign the listing agreement, or you get a limited authorization so you can sign listing agreements for them.
Because you see this as pattern recognition. I have to be able to recognize the pattern. Because how many times have you spoke to somebody that was like this, had no equity, bought in 2022, 2023, has a low interest rate, but they have no equity? And what do you say to them? I can't help you. Or you got to do a short sale. That's it. Or we can try to list it higher and squeeze in my commission. And then it doesn't sell. You look at all these problems. It's like, oh, here's the problems. Here's what's going on. But what is the thing, even though there's no equity, what is the thing that this has that's very valuable? A very low interest rate. So if you have a 3% interest rate in an environment where it's 7, dude, that's valuable.
And we're seeing a lot of these opportunities come up on the market. A lot of them. I mean, daily, we're talking 4 or 5 people that bought and are over leveraged, and now they can't sell because there's no equity.
So a really cool search in MLS, whoever bought between 2021 and 2022 with a VA or FHA loan, call them. If they have to sell, they have a problem because they have no equity. But they have a very low interest rate and you can put these deals together.
Yeah, and assuming versus taking subject to is different, because I know you mentioned that. Assuming is I'm going through the process of getting qualified to assume that loan. Here we're just taking it over subject to. The loan stays in place and we take over title and take over the loan.
Idalis, I had the good fortune of coaching her one-on-one for about 2 years. And all she wanted to role play with me was what to say and how to say it. So she would pepper me with questions and I would role play with her. And she turned into this, even though it comes in a nice
small package,
bro, a sales ninja. If you watch some of her content, she'll records herself like having live conversations with people, putting deals together.